on in 3, 2, 1.
This is Packard Pokset, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening to everybody. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokset. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic, and I hope that you can actually see us and hear everything this time. We tried this last week, and we had a little bit of a failure, but
Packard broke the internet again.
No, it was a little bit of a technical difficulty between the software and the hardware, so it took a little bit of finagling to get it worked out, but I finally did. It was a big pain in the neck, but we have a lot of good stories for you tonight, and later, as a matter of fact, the show will also be, as of tonight, will be uploaded to iTunes, so you can be able to watch it later as well if you would like to. So that's another new feature to the show. Let's get to our first story for this evening. Oh, wait, before we get going, I've almost forgotten. On my far right, introduce the host tonight. On our far right is Eric. I have no thoughts.
I'm a host? Sweet! And the ladies are already plotting against me, y'all.
Yeah, that's right, they are. And on my far left, filling in for Dan tonight, is Medusa Rants.
Wiki from California, feeling mellow out here today.
Oh yeah, filling in from on the West Coast. And joining us again tonight is Vonnie.
Hey.
Vonnie.
What up, primate?
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for that one. I was waiting for you to say that. Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, we got a good show for you tonight. Let's get into our first... before we get started here real quick, there's been a lot of news, and we covered this on the show a couple times, about Trayvon Martin. The guy that shot him and killed him is in custody. They allowed him to bring himself in, which is kind of ironic, but it kind of irritated me. But they said that they have charged him. So let's not get... There's a big difference between being charged and being convicted. So let's not lose our heads over this just yet. Wait until he's actually convicted before we get too overexcited about this. I'm glad he is in custody and not out roaming the streets, but we need to make sure that we make a clear distinction between being charged.
He gets a fair shake.
That's right. He gets his fair shake.
I think his mom said it best. All she hoped for was an honest arrest, and that happened, and now you have to let the justice system take its course.
Right.
And the judge on the case said that public pressure wasn't involved in getting him charged. Really? No, I don't think so, because if this hadn't come to national attention, I don't think they would have charged him. I think he'd still be out roaming the streets as of tonight, uncharged. So that whole spiel that she did on TV saying there will not be pushed by public media or public opinion. It's like, yeah, I don't hardly think so. You made the decision because of pressure by the media and public decision. I think that was part of it. But once it gets to the court system, that's their game. So, but anyway, all right. I've said this like 3 times already. Let's get into our tech stories for this evening. Our first tech story out in New York City. They are going to replace all the old payphones with smart screens. Now, this is if you get a chance to take a look at this, it'll be at packardpokes.wordpress.com. The link will be there anyway. These screens it's a 32-inch screen, and it looks really cool. They're working on so you could actually use it for a Wi-Fi access point, and there'll be waterproof, weatherproof, and you could actually they'll be maintained, and they'll actually bring the city in.
Are they vandalism proof?
I don't think anything's vandalism proof, but I mean they will be maintained. So if someone does vandalize one of these things, they will be hopefully replaced right away. Plus, since they are supposed to be waterproof, they can use a jet hose to spray these things down to clean them. They probably drive by them in a truck and go, shh, and drive on. This way, but you won't have to pay to use it. That's the best part. It's completely free. So what you have to do is you just have to sit there, watch an ad for like a few seconds or so, and then you'll be able to make your call, and which makes it even better. And we're going to work in Skype or and some other technological details into it too. And it's going to make the city about $18 million a year, so or annually. So that's the same thing. But that's if they get this to function. That's our first. That's a big step right to the future. You see on TV shows that you got people are sitting at payphones and they're looking at you and they got the screens and everything. This is the future. This is that right there. Medusa, your thoughts?
Well, in all deference to Vonnie, I would have to say that I completely agree with Packard. What's not to like about these? I mean, the only issue I had when I was first reading the articles, I thought, all these people putting their grubby digits over these things, I don't want to touch these screens with kids with snotty fingers and germs. But they have made them so they can be steam clean. Am I not correct, Packard?
Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah, so they're sanitary as well. So that I'm all for it. I think it's exciting,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it spreads to other cities as well, because payphones are definitely a thing of the past if you can find them,
Oh yeah.
So what's not to like?
Anywhere.
That's what I say. I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, and the best part, I think, if they use them as a hotspot, and if they're also free, then you could sit
Oh,
nearby.
if you can get Wi-Fi off of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then people could be sitting near the phone. So even
That's
if someone's
cool.
using
If they have my bus stops or something like that, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool. That'd be really
Wouldn't
cool.
it?
Yes, absolutely. I like to think so anyway. Vonnie, your thoughts?
I totally agree too. I certainly didn't mean to imply I didn't like the idea. I was more thinking from a practical point of view that who's going to keep them up, and if they get vandalized, it sounds like a very expensive piece of equipment. So, but I'm sure they will take precautions and protect it as it needs to be protected.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
like
people
any
will
other-
love them because of the technology and won't
People
want to
will
hurt
love them, but people are jerks and they vandalize things all the time. So that I'm
Yeah,
just
they
saying
do.
that's a practical reality that you have to look
She's
at.
right.
My rose-colored glasses, they're just, I don't know, I left them somewhere.
Well, the main reason I think that these machines would get the phones would normally get vandalized. I mean, the old pay phones, because they're trying to get the money that's inside it. They're trying to
Oh,
get.
please. People vandalize things all the time just because they have nothing better to do.
Well, yeah, this is
They've got
true
a can
also.
of spray paint. Hey, why
Yeah.
not spray the screen of this thing that costs the city $3,000? I'm a 16-year-old little brat with no direction in my life. Crime
Vonnie.
does it, and I'm not to point out 16-year-olds because
You own one? Like
not
I
with
do.
that demographic. I'm just saying that people who do criminal type things don't generally have the best.
You know what they'll probably end up doing? If worst comes to worst, they'll probably steal them and take them home.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. I hope that they really take the extra mile to make sure that they're protected, because it really does sound like a good idea, especially too, like, what if you were in trouble and just needed to get a hold. That's the one thing about payphones that I especially now, they're so outdated, but if you don't have a quarter, you're screwed, right?
Yeah, but these are completely free, so.
This is the thing, so this is even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, since these have a camera built into them, it's like a video phone. So if somebody were to come up there, they might have something already built in, so it's monitoring all the time. So if someone walks up to it, they don't think that there's anything there, or they don't think that that the camera's activated. They'll walk up to it and vandalize it, and they'll get busted later on.
That'd be awesome. Not only that, but what if there was a crime going on in that area?
Yep. Oh yeah, the police could access that too. They do this with several years ago, there was not an accident, but the bridge out in Minnesota collapsed. I don't know if you heard about that. It actually, the whole bridge just was being worked on, and it just crashed right into the river, into the Mississippi River. And there was a bank teller that was nearby, and they were able to grab images a few weeks later, but they were able to grab images from that. And that was just, one every 10 seconds or so.
Right, just for the basic surveillance camera type technology, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And,
that would be great, Packard, wouldn't it?
oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Eric, your thoughts?
I wonder if it's going to have FaceTime integration.
Now that
Over our heads again.
That would be sweet. Oh, you got to get the iPhone, Jenny.
Dang it, Vonnie.
We're going to talk later.
You bet.
I think it's going to be great, and the fact that it's going to be free is even better, especially for low income. And I'm assuming, and it's totally wrong for me to assume, that the people who would use this maybe don't have cell phones on them. So I think it'll be great that it'll be a free, minus the ad.
Yeah.
But if you get a free service, you have to pay for it somehow. And if
Yeah.
it makes the town money that they can use to apply to much needed things, then I support this 100%.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
This is creative ways of creating revenue that doesn't include taxing more.
Yes.
And actually helps the community at the same time.
Yes. This is the type of ingenuity and thinking that I wish a lot more of federal, state, and local governments would have.
Yeah.
As long as, it doesn't get vandalized, because then there'll be tons of money.
Well, yeah.
So then they'll lose it.
I think they may have actually. They did say they're going to bring in $18 million annually, so they may have actually included in there, since we don't exactly have the actual numbers what they're showing us, but they may have actually worked in that amount of vandalism that on average
to compensate.
Yeah, for compensation. So if it weren't for vandalism, that'd probably be $20 million. So we don't know.
Yeah, but like I said,
I'm optimistic.
This is definitely creative thinking.
Yes, it is. But but it also tells me one thing, that advertisers have got us by the balls.
God. As long as they keep making the commercials funny.
Yeah, now that I agree with. I like the commercials when they're funny.
As long as they entertain me, that's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I want a little something for my time. That's all I'm asking.
There you go. All right, well, let's get into our next story here. If your account is subpoenaed on Facebook, then the police will get, pretty much everything that you've got. If you have all your email or messages or private conversations you had with somebody on there, then they will get basically everything. This is basically went back because of the Craigslist killer. This happened late last year. They basically subpoenaed Facebook, said, hey, we want to see everything he had. And they gave him everything. And not only did they just give him everything, they took everything that the person that they were talking to, they copied all their records as well. So if you get subpoenaed by Facebook, then your chances of getting your information along with that. So let's say Jenny here, Medusa, is subpoenaed, and we've been talking on Facebook. They're gonna go say, well, we want Packard's Facebook, everything he's put out there as well, and they won't tell us how much they've actually given to the police, but I would rather to guess, hazard a guess that that it's quite considerable. Medusa, your thoughts?
This is just another reason not to Facebook. And I don't Facebook because they are so cavalier with privacy. I mean, if they dig into if they subpoena my Facebook, and I'm talking to you, Packard, and you're talking to Vonnie too, and Vonnie happens to be talking to Eric, how deep is it going to go?
Yeah.
How many how many levels of separation are they going to go before just everything is just open to the government to look at?
Yeah.
That's why I don't keep an active Facebook account. I can't. I don't trust it. I don't have my tweets updated to my Facebook account. Nothing. I abhor that site.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. If I had more time on my hands, I'd probably delete my account. But it's so obtuse and filled with rumor and lies anyway. I'm on there as widowed. So, and I'm looking at my husband right here. So I'm definitely not a widow. But on Facebook, I am. So they don't. It's not connected to the real me. I planned that when I set my Facebook account up.
Yep.
From the get-go, because I just don't trust Mark Zuckerberg or his organization and the people that he does business with. And the way he does business, I just don't trust him. That's how I feel. And this is just a more erosion of your personal rights on a social media site, and I just don't see how that could be good.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That's why on my Facebook here that I tweet all my tweets go to, I don't use my real name either. So it's they're gonna have a hell. They could probably find me. I'm sure they could if they really wanted to, but it would take
they get to work for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna make them work for it. I'm not just gonna get it willy nilly. You want me? You gotta work for it, buddy boy.
That's right. Work it, shake it, baby.
That's right.
That's my last word on that topic to Mr. Zuckerberg. Shake it, baby, shake it. In fact, I'll write that down in case you want it for the show.
Okay, I was just thinking that.
I was just gonna say that.
I was just thinking that.
The same thing.
I'll write it on my hand.
There you go. Vonnie, your thoughts.
Okay, so I'm all over the place on this one, so bear with me, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say something kind of interesting.
Okay.
Wait, you said there, Medusa, about the real you. That's not the real you on Facebook.
Right.
What's funny about, in my case, is that the real me, for the real me, if you were just saying, yeah, that's so-and-so, that's me on Facebook. It has, real life family, real life friends. It's really me. But it's probably the fakest version of me there is. Then on Twitter, there's the fake me. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I look like. You don't know my life story. You didn't go to school with me. But that's probably the most real me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah. The real me
I
is
agree with her.
Huh?
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the real me, the people who really get me are on Twitter. The people who really know me are on Facebook.
Ah.
Right?
So the separation of Vonnie and State.
Because most of my friends don't want to hear what I think. Honestly, I'm in such a small demographic in the way of my views, and I'm not just talking about atheism. I mean, in general, I don't really care what somebody had for lunch. I don't care what their agenda
Well, I
is
want to know
for
what
the
you had
day.
for. I want to know what you had for lunch. No.
And I don't want you to send me food to feed my fish either. I don't want an aquarium.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to discuss real issues, and
Yeah.
I don't feel that is what happens on Facebook. It's the mundane, every single day. You can almost predict what people are going to put on there.
It's just the minutiae of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
I follow.
Boring.
I follow.
so boring. I don't learn anything. It's like just so boring. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, I follow a variety of different people on Facebook. I follow a lot of other atheists. They post a lot of interesting stories and whatnot.
Yeah,
And sometimes it gets repetitive after a while. And like there's this one person who keeps posting this thing that looks like it's green corn, and it's not. It's some kind of spring rolls or something. And it's like, but if you look at the picture, it looks like it's corn that's gone bad.
Yeah, I do find it monotonous.
Yeah, it gets a little tired. That part of it gets a little tiring after a while. Like,
And your friends don't want to hear about how you really feel. They want to know what you're up to. They want to know how's it going in your life.
yeah,
And that's what your friends want, right?
yeah, they want to know if you're out drinking or they want to know if you're out out buying
If
groceries.
you're sick or what? Yeah, exactly. They want to know about how you're doing. And so I respect that. And so that's basically what Facebook is for me. And it's just so trivial, but it connects me with my real life people.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that aspect of Facebook. But going back to what you were saying, Medusa, I don't have personal conversations anywhere on the internet. Like,
Oh no,
you
no.
know what I
There
mean?
are certain things that are just taboo. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That if
Because
you're going to
it's
get
not.
that close to me, I'll be Skyping with you, but
Yeah.
I won't
Mhm.
put it in
Exactly.
print anywhere.
I,
No.
I actually
Very
did.
careful how I conduct myself because let me tell you why. It's not just my fear that, like, basically, if you don't break the law, you really don't have to worry about this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be infringing on your privacy unless your daughter happens to be missing for 31 days and you don't go looking for her. Then they might want to check out what you were up to for those last 31 days.
But they're also gonna. But they're
I know
also.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but they're also gonna try to connect to anybody else that you've been also talking to.
But when you break the law and you do something heinous, too bad, so sad. I have no pity for that.
Well, but I'm not saying that
Really
the person that I'm not saying the person. Yeah, that's fine. You know that the person that they're going after that broke the law. But I'm talking about the innocent schmo that just has to be talking to them.
But they wouldn't know that innocent schmo was innocent until
Right.
they looked into it. That innocent schmo may have been an accomplice to a murder.
But well, that's also true too. But the thing is, if this person is innocent and they go looking for through their profile and whatnot,
Really
then
think
at
they
that
care,
point,
though? You don't really think when they're going through it and you're having some heated sex talk
no,
that they really
no. I'm saying
really
is,
they're looking for keywords, key evidence to
I
say this puts this person in the place that they've been accused of.
right. But I would understand. All right. But the difference here is, at that point, it doesn't become. At that point, it becomes a fishing expedition. That's the problem.
Honey, I agree. I totally agree. And this is what I'm saying. I'm all over the place with this one because from a privacy standpoint, but I don't share my private thoughts. I'm very, very careful of how I conduct myself. Also because you never know who's going to piss you off. And next thing you know, your personal laundry is out to the masses.
Oh, speaking of being pissed.
Off.
Speaking of being
Or
pissed.
or they get pissed at you for some reason.
Right. No,
This
speaking
is
of
what I'm saying. And then next thing you know, that nice personal conversation we were having is all over YouTube or all over.
yeah.
Exactly.
know,
That's when I just
or-
block people because I refuse to argue. I will not argue with anybody on Twitter about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No.
revealing your secrets and revealing your personal life, the internet is not the place to do it.
No.
Yeah. No. I was gonna say. Speaking of which, being pissed off on that. There's a lot of the atheists that have atheists on Twitter. They're having their accounts shut down. I had one of them. I was talking to him just the other day. What's that?
It's not
Really?
looked into it, though. There seems to be a legitimate pattern to that.
A legitimate pattern?
And it's not atheism.
I don't know. They're just atheists so far that I've been seeing.
Angry
Yeah.
atheists.
People who are actually what they're doing is they're mentioning so-and-so, let's say Joe, what's his doodle there, right? Everybody does it to him. They ridicule him 24/7.
Joe, oh, you mean Joe, what's his name?
Zilkowski or something.
Zilkowski, yeah.
So this is what's working now. Their rule is you cannot exploit someone. So what if you are constantly, not just once, but if you are consistently mentioning someone else and then using derogatory tweet to make them to belittle them, to somehow damn their character, that kind of thing.
Do you think that's what's going on?
That seems to be the pattern because I've been reading about it, and the people that are actually coming back, they're all saying it's when they've been mentioning people.
Oh, really?
And when I say mentioning, I mean mentioning/bashing.
Oh. See, I talked to so many people at one time. I'm wondering.
It's how they're using the mentions.
Yeah,
I see.
that happened to me once. I got just mobbed by
Yes,
a bunch
it's
of angry
bullying.
atheists,
Yeah.
and it came out of nowhere, and I eventually found out who did it, but they were using fake accounts
Oh.
because I was getting top tweet. Do I care whether I get top tweet or not? No, I do not.
I
That's
don't even
not
know how
why
you
I'm
get.
on Twitter.
How do you?
It's
I
not a
don't even.
competition.
How do you even
Yeah.
know? I don't even know how you can get top tweets.
The only reason I've ever known is because someone's told me. I don't know either.
Exactly,
Oh.
exactly.
Well, you'll have to show me how you do that at some point. They do this top tweet thing. I got to see how you're doing that.
No, if you go on to click any hashtag, if you go to the hashtag itself, click the hashtag, you'll see there'll be 3 of them, and it'll say top tweet, and the little blue thing will be beside it.
Oh. Oh, so the hashtag search.
That means basically these 3 tweets have been retweeted the most.
Ah.
And that really gets some people's rocks off. They think they're a rock star on Twitter.
I've ventured to say most of us wouldn't even know if we were on top tweet. I have no way of knowing.
I wouldn't know. And I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care either. I've been
not
top
high
tweeted
school.
a couple times, and it was really cool for about 5 seconds. It was like, cool. But,
Yeah. But I mean, to get on every day and constantly try and get that top tweet status, you're not tweeting about good content. It's a game for you. It's a status thing, and that's not why I'm on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. That's why some people are on there. If that works for them, awesome.
Right.
But that's for me either. I just like connecting with people.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like to do too. But I mean, I think if they're just mentioning it a few times, I don't know if that's what's going on.
It's basically like it is a form of bullying, Packard, and from what I've read, I've read, and I don't remember their usernames. I'm sorry, but 3 of them I've read so far have explained what happened, and although it wasn't explained to them, the pattern has been they're mentioning someone and kind of being hateful. And someone. Now, if you think you know what it's like, they could have 10 different people, and this person is just constantly doing this. Then if that gets reported, you don't have to get reported 100 times for Twitter to look at that. If someone reports that as abuse, Twitter will look at it, and they'll suspend your account, look into it, and then if, they'll do whatever. Every one of them has been unsuspended. But in a way, I'm not against that, because if someone was doing it to me, it's good to know that Twitter's got my back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Last year I kept getting attacked by multiple spots from if you remember that guy up in Canada, and
me too. I was one of his targets as well.
Oh yeah. But they didn't shut down his accounts fast enough. They should have just blocked it.
No, they didn't. And it seems to me that Twitter has actually ramped it up a little bit in several ways, and that's one of my things.
Yeah, but the thing, I think the difference there was he kept coming back with.
What's going on Twitter?
What's that?
Too much abuse going on Twitter. People just, it's verbal abuse. It's like, okay, you said what you had to say. Get off my back, and you can block.
Oh yeah, I don't understand why he just doesn't block him and be done with it.
Yeah, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
But
that's what I do. I don't put up with it anymore. Just throwing gas on a fire.
Yeah. Well, we're eating up all this time here. Eric hasn't had a chance to say.
Eric.
I know, man. Y'all just up and forget about me.
He's so quiet.
What the heck? You're multitasking, aren't you?
Yeah.
I am.
I don't even know what he's multitasking doing.
Flame on, Eric. Flame on.
Eric.
Flame on, brother.
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, your thoughts?
The thing I was gonna say is that Vonnie said it best. There's not much else I can add, because I think Vonnie's opinion is my opinion. Whenever it comes to I'm halfway as a privacy person and someone who doesn't like government interfering or looking at anything. I don't support it. I don't think it's a very good thing. But the teacher / fatherly side of me is sitting there saying, we should definitely have something like this in case of like a child rapist or kidnapping or something like that. It's easier to track or see where they are and all that good stuff. So I think it's it depends on the situation, and with anything, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
So, right.
And that's what they should keep in mind.
To hinge on that, we should point out that it's not just Facebook. if you're suspected of committing a serious crime, the police
They'll look
can
at
get
anything.
access to all of your text messages, all of your emails, all of your Twitter. It's not just Facebook.
Yeah. That's very true. That there's a lot more that's going on behind there. So it's just that I think that the fact is that they're doing this fishing expedition to everybody you're talking to. I mean, if they just say let's say they come across out of 10 people, they come across one other person who might be doing something that they might be borderline illegal. Then it spans out more. Like
So you're saying, okay, so this is a little different because I'm not sure I caught on to the fishing part before.
yeah,
You're
I
saying
tried
that
to say that. I tried to say that.
no, I apologize. I was clearly not paying attention. So you're saying that Facebook is fishing for this stuff?
No, I'm saying that if you're the person that's convicted or not convicted, but if
Oh,
they're going
okay,
after being
okay.
of a crime, and then they look at everybody you've been talking to,
Mhm,
and out of 10, let's say out of 10 people that these people have
Yeah,
been
I
talking
get it
to,
now.
one person
Mhm.
happens to be doing something, might be doing some borderline illegal, then then they can go after them for something as well. So then they just spiders out from that point, and then it like I said, it's not just that it's
Mhm.
uh, that they're
Well,
looking for one, but they're examining just the one. It's just everybody that they're talking to
But
also
that is
goes to the
but
right
that
phone.
is the case with everything. Your text messages, everything.
Yeah.
Not just Facebook. And that's
well,
something that people should be aware of because they probably don't realize it.
Yeah, I think they should be aware of it.
Mhm.
But the problem is that they're not. And I would hate, I would really hate, not that I have anything to hide, but I would really hate to be put into it's just happened to somebody I just happen to be talking to or happen to be following on Facebook that gets busted by the cops for something, or they decide, well, Packard here, we'll look at everything he's done too. So, they start looking
All the
through
more
everything.
reason to keep your personal life off the internet.
Well, yeah, like I've always said, if you were gonna live on the internet like you're living in public, don't put anything on there that you would
Exactly.
don't put anything
That
on
is
there you wouldn't want to
that's
put on there that you wouldn't want to tell to anybody else or
yeah.
anything like that. So.
And the stupid people are just for entertainment.
Are they?
That's
No,
a
so that's the reason why they're there.
that's the reason they're there. It's just for pure entertainment
Ah.
and for the evolution of technology, so we can work around them. Everybody's just getting on in the chat room right now, folks.
Oh, very good, very good. I totally.
They've been contacting me, so I've been trying to field it for you.
Oh, good. I've been seeing the tweets come through and everything. They've been having issues. I don't know what it is. It's got to be something to do with Friday the 13th. The servers are just being hammered, I guess.
Oh, don't encourage the superstitious nonsense.
I'm not. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. It's just everybody wants to see what's going on Friday the 13th, so they're all hitting the superstitious websites. So they're just hammering the servers. That's what it is. It's nothing.
I would have to agree with Packard. I'm sorry, I'm not just brown nosing. Shit, I'll come out and say it.
Okay.
I used to work at a hospital. It does get crazy on the 13th and a full moon.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to say about that. So, but we'll get into
Yes, there is.
We got to get moving into our next topic. But before we do, we got to hang on. Since we're doing the video thing here now.
He says we very loosely.
Well,
I'm echoing now.
well, you'll see it later on YouTube. But
But my video's off.
I'm echoing.
You're echoing.
Mhm.
Well, you're probably got your audio thing on there. So, but anyway, as I was going to say, since we got the video here, you'll see it later. If you want to, I'm trying to figure where I got a point here. Whoops. If you want to put an ad on the show, I'm trying to figure where I'm pointing again. If you want to put an ad on the show, you can just contact me at packardpokes@gmail.com, and we can get your ad up here on the show. And This way you could actually be seen instead of just heard as well. So, try to get that out there. There we go. Try to get this thing. Go away. Go away. Shoo. There we go. There it goes. Whoops. Up. There it goes. If you're actually watching the video, you'd actually see it actually looks pretty cool. But let's get into our politics for this evening.
Politics, 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 politics.
Now, for the right wing, they seem to think that the real victims of the Trayvon Martin case, as we did mention it at the top of the show here, that the real victims of all this wasn't Trayvon Martin. It's white people. White people. Us white people. We are the victims here. No, we're not. The victim was Trayvon Martin. I got a little audio clip here. It's about a minute long, and you won't believe the insanity of this.
I said the other day, I just hate this phrase. I have black friends. No, I know that it's true. I knew that black men are singled out, and it is horrific. And I know that blacks have suffered tremendous racism. But I think now it's getting to be where many whites are feeling more the victim now, with the press going the way that it is and things going the way they are, and so it's stirring up lots of trouble.
How dare her?
How dare her?
What beautiful white gated community did she come from?
I would like to know that myself. It's just unbelievable. Just these people.
She may have meant something else, but the way she said it, that was just incredibly. That what an insult.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
The nerve.
Yeah, it was just completely uncalled for. I mean, I don't understand. Some people just really don't get it.
I have black friends is like saying I have a shag rug. What does that mean? That's so impersonal.
Yes, it is. It really is.
It's shocking.
It is. And these people, they just don't get it. They just really just do not get it. That's the whole problem here. Medusa, your thoughts?
Well, I read that whole diatribe and it was just horrifying. And I'll refer to it now because I've got it up here. Sandy Rios of the American Family Association. I mean,
yes.
that was her who made that comment that you just said, and calling Obama, oh my God, the names that they called the president of the United States, a racist black Muslim sympathizer and a Jew and white hater who is the biggest and most evil whore of all, is what Larry Klugman or Klayman from Judicial Watch called Obama. In what dimension do these people live? I mean,
know.
This has been so much blown out of proportion. This case is very simple. I worked in the courts for 15 years. It's very simple. One man shot an unarmed young boy, and that's what we're going to trial over. Nothing more and nothing less. But in America, where everything is about race, and with our media, the way it is rigged, you know, it's just like throwing gas on a fire. I keep saying that throughout this whole show.
Mm-hmm.
They're just throwing gas on a fire. This guy Zimmerman, I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. I will say that, but I believe he deserves a fair shake.
Yeah.
But
not to interrupt you too much here, but Zimmerman was going on saying, I'm afraid to go to this grocery store and get groceries. It's like, really, now you know it. Now you know exactly how you make everybody else feel when you go profiling them.
Exactly. You should be scared. He should have been kept day one, because it's never been a point of contention whether he shot the boy or not. He did shoot the boy. Personally, I feel that it is a great waste of taxpayers' money to put him through a jury trial, and it's very, very painful for the victims also. I mean, I just think that's wrong, but that's because of my experience in the criminal justice system, and this is a hot button issue for me, and I get real worked up about it. I just think it's a waste of money in it, and it's just going to cause more pain, and the media is going to feed off of it like they fed off of Casey Anthony and O.J. Simpson. Here's the new big trial.
Yeah.
And that man cannot get a fair trial in this country. I don't think he can get a fair trial unless he was in Patagonia, to tell you the truth.
You don't think Zimmerman's gonna get a fair trial?
No, I don't think he'll be able to get a fair trial. I don't care what state you put him in. It's just been the flames have been whipped up too high, and the pressure is on for Florida to get a case right. They dropped the Casey Anthony case flat on its face. They have to get Zimmerman right.
Yeah.
He will be convicted.
Yeah.
But all of this nonsense by the far right and white women saying they have a few black friends is just throwing more gasoline on a fire that needs to be quenched. This should be a sequestered jury. It should be a media cap on everything, completely blacked out. But that's not going to happen in America because Nancy Grace needs something to do. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, and Nancy Grace generally gets stuff wrong a lot. And
Right.
She's another one of these white women who are privileged white women, privileged white person, even. It's just that she thinks that the world owes her because she thinks because she's got a TV show that she is so much better than everybody else. Oh,
and she tries to make herself seem like she's so down to earth and with everybody else, and she is not.
Yeah. I have no.
That doesn't work with me.
Yeah, it doesn't work with me either. I don't understand why. What's her deal? I mean, she's got a whole other set of issues. Vonnie, your thoughts?
Oh, the right wing, like, I know this is going to come out wrong, and I apologize in advance, but they live in a dimension of if we say it's true, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they can
No, you're absolutely right on that. You're absolutely right on that.
They can just spout out absolute fictional garbage, but they will believe each other. They will applaud one another, and it's like that, human sheep behavior. And I'm not blaming religion, but this is the behavior that religion grooms.
Yes.
They are groomed by religion to have this group think kind of behavior, and that's it's like, yeah, if one or two people nod their head, well, it's true, he's all that and more.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like all of us do it. This is human nature at work here. The sad part is, though, it's so inaccurate and untrue. I mean, yeah. I would say if all of those things were true, I might not have an issue with it. I have an issue with it because it's so obviously untrue and just obviously hateful.
Yeah. Oh, the religion is the basis of hate.
Well, and the group think. Like, it's just, like I say, one or two people nod their head, and, well, next thing you know, it must be true. And then you get people who don't know the difference, and they nod their head, too, because everybody else is nodding their head, and next thing you know, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves Sarah Palin, and Sarah Palin is saying it must be true, because she's on the day program.
This is exactly right? This is just human nature at work, human sheep nature at work, and we all are susceptible to it. It's just that the right are so used to not having to be accountable for saying things that aren't true, but it's what they believe, and nobody else being able to question it. It's just, it's just more of the same.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I will say, though, and don't even think for a second I'm defending that woman, because I'm not. But I will say one thing. Through this process and through many other things, in my lifetime, I have often heard derogatory comments, quote unquote, white people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And white people are trash. White people are this. White people are so privileged. White people. It's like somehow, somewhere, the notion got put into someone's head that white people of today are like the white people of 2,000 years ago. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't have any more privileges than my black friend and Chinese friend and Muslim friend. We're the privileges are the same, and I can tell you that I don't know a single white person whose heart did not go out to Trayvon's family over this. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, what kind of bothers me, Trayvon.
Packard, you lost Eric.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I just sent that to you over Twitter. I already know that. I was just gonna
Okay.
say, that Eric. I was trying to stall for time while we were trying to get Eric back, but I was just gonna say, that I can't get a hold of the mouse here because my producer.
well, the point I was going to make is that if of all the things though that woman could have said,
Yeah.
that was inappropriate. Like, people
Indeed.
generalize, and I don't take those comments personally, just like I don't take the generalization of atheists personally. I know who I am as a person, and I represent who I am.
Yeah.
And of all the things that she could have said, she chose to take that moment to put herself as the victim when this mother just lost a child. Like, how dare her?
Yeah.
How dare her try to steal the limelight and make herself a victim? That disgusts me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
distasteful.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I was gonna say that what kind of bothered me about the whole situation, was that the parent after with the parents they were saying, "Oh, thank God that the guy they captured him." I was like, and they're finally, or thank God they're actually finally prosecuted. It's like, no, don't you don't need to thank God for him turning himself in, because he wouldn't have turned himself in if there
Well, if
was
they
no
were
public
thanking
pressure.
God, where was God when he killed Trayvon?
Exactly.
There we go.
Where was God when he was getting shot?
Yeah.
Where was your God when he was getting shot? I'm sorry, we're
Yeah.
going to kind of into to the religion here a little bit, but
No, but yeah, that expression absolutely disgusts me.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it is. It really is. It's just when people say, "Oh, thank God they caught him," it's like, why didn't you, where was your God when the person was getting killed or
Exactly.
whatever? Come on now.
Yeah.
And then they make excuses as why God wasn't there. That even infuriates me even
Yeah,
more.
you know, they don't see it though. They just don't. They're so indoctrinated. It's just parroting what they've always heard their whole life. It's
Yeah.
just
It's something that's going to have to die out. It's through attrition, you know. It's
yeah.
not something that you can deprogram or they can undo, you know.
Mhm.
And if they indoctrinate their children, it's just another generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does get weeded out through generations. Well, you know, in places. Certain
Eventually,
places it
I
doesn't. In
hope,
some places
you
it
know.
might not. I mean, the Middle East. I mean, America is becoming a second little Middle East. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, I just hope we don't we don't turn into another
well,
a
if
country
people
that's
don't, I tell you, people better keep speaking up because Christianity has an agenda. I think we all know that.
Oh yeah, it does.
They want Christianity to dominate America before the Muslims sneak in and do it. And I really think that's true. I really actually do think that's true.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree with you
And
there. I agree with you there.
yeah, they've got their political monkeys doing a great job, and you just got to keep speaking up.
Yeah.
Don't ever stop doing that.
Yeah. It's it's the best way. Yeah, I think that's it. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get Eric back right away. I think he's working on trying to get back into the chat room and back on Skype. His computer kind of barfs Skype all over the internet. So we'll get back.
Oh.
Well, you know.
Well, my phone cut out for a bit too, you know, and it came back. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, his internet completely for his Skype completely crapped out. I don't understand. It is Friday the 13th after all.
Oh,
After all.
I had to throw that out there.
You have a note, Packard, and
Tomorrow's
you're using
Saturday
it.
the 14th.
What's that?
And tomorrow's Saturday the 14th.
Saturday the 14th. What comes after Friday the 13th? Saturday the 14th. There's actually a movie called Saturday the 14th.
Oh,
it was
God.
it was a parody. No, it was a parody horror movie. It wasn't even a real horror movie. It was just a parody of a horror movie. But it was a really it wasn't really a bad movie, but it wasn't really good either. So
But good in a bad in a good way.
yeah, exactly. So if you get a chance to see it, it's I think it was made back in the late '90s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on the date, but it was I think that's when it was made. But it was meant to be parody because all those Friday the 13th movies were coming out around the same time, so they decided to parody this movie at this just for you know to give it a little bit less punch, I guess. But it was a whole other issue. But let's get on to our next story here. Speaking of parodies of and religion, the Tennessee Monkey Bill is going to protect anti-science teachers. So they basically get to teach creationism in science class, and they'll say just if the teacher does not believe in evolution, they'll say, oh, well, God did it, and that's all we need to know. And then they'll give whatever stupid explanation. Science isn't about guessing. It's not guess. It's not. It's not It's not just hypothesis. Religion is hypothesis. There's no theory behind it. It's no fact behind it. But they can say, well, the monkeys are there's just monkeys and then there's humans, and the big Christian argument is, well, if there's humans come from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? It's like, oh, I get this kind of argument. I give myself such a face palm. I leave a big red mark right here on my forehead, and it just. I like to counter back. Well, if we came from England, why is there still England? But the problem here is, I'm getting off a little off topic here, but why don't we do this with all the classes then? If they're going to do this with science class, why don't we just say 1 + 1 = 5? How about that? That's close enough, because I believe 1 + 1 = 5. There, it's fine. And 3.14 is the square root of pi. Is exactly what is what the Bible says. It's not 3.5 whatever. It's 3.14. That's it, or it's 3. I forget which, but they're not exact. So, but Medusa, your thoughts?
One giant step that mankind is taking backwards. I can't believe that somebody would sign this into law. And so far, I know the Constitution does not specifically say that there should be a separation of church and state, but it is implied in it, and in other documents that we have in our government, that there is the implication of separation between church and state. We're going back to the Scopes monkey trial again. This is if he signs this into law, what this to me, not only is it damaging, first of all, to children to take this giant step backwards in science. No wonder why Americans are the last in science and math. Tennessee is really showing us. Sorry that I'm stuttering, but I'm furious.
Yeah,
I'm really furious that this people. I read Al Jazeera, and they will mock us for this. We look like the laughing stock right now. Again,
hold on.
I'm holding on.
Someone was had some extra noise behind him. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
In any case, if he does sign this bill into law, whatever, go ahead and let him do it. Mm-hmm. Because SB 893, the monkey bill, is going to go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, which is going to be, a profound waste of taxpayers' money. Why it should get smacked down way before that. I don't see how this bill can even get passed. If it does get passed, I'll be shocked. really.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would be too. It shouldn't pass. And I hope that if it does pass, I hope it gets challenging in court.
absolutely, it's got to go to court. There's got to be people writing up briefs as we speak now. I know they are. I know how that system works. But it's the school children who are going to lose in the long run if this bill is actually signed in. A generation may be lost. You know, being taught creationism in the schools.
Yeah.
That's, don't go to Arizona and don't go to Tennessee, and for God's sake, don't commit murder in Texas. They will fry your ass.
I hope personally, I hope that they keep talking about it down in Texas. They keep wanting to secede. Please go away. Take
Please.
Florida. Yeah, please take Arizona, take Texas, take Florida. All three of you. You can just go by.
And take Tennessee with you too, please.
I wish we could take Tennessee. If we could dig Tennessee out of the ground and just had it, stick it out in the ocean somewhere, that might.
That would be a great place for that state. Unfortunately, I have a friend who lives there.
If this were a cartoon, if our life were a cartoon, there was an old Bugs Bunny cartoon where Bugs Bunny was trying to get arrested, and no one would arrest him, so he figures he's got to do all these crimes just so he can get arrested. I don't remember why he needed to get arrested for, but he goes in part of the cartoon. He cuts off. He takes a saw and he's literally cutting Florida free, and Florida's seen floating away.
Oh, well then please let Southern California secede from Northern California, because Northern California has wanted to do that for decades. We want to be rid of Southern California. They are nothing like us. We're completely two different countries. In fact, there was a book written about it called Ecotopia. Look it up someday.
Ecotopia?
Ecotopia.
It sounds like it's a story of a bunch of women screaming every time they see a mouse. Ah!
No. I don't do that. That's why I have cats.
Oh, that's what they're for.
Anyway, that's what I have to say about that ridiculousness. And I know Vonnie is going to have a lot more to say, so I'm going to turn it over to my girlfriend here.
Sure. Vonnie, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I really hope that parents are safeguarding their kids against this, because at this point, that's what they'll have to do. They'll have to buff their kids with real education, and
You're
then
so
send their kids to school so they can get dumber. Wow, it just blows my mind. We are dumbing down the country, and then you wonder why they bring people in from different countries or send work elsewhere out of the country, because we're going to be too stupid to do anything. Don't they see the bigger picture here? Our kids cannot be dumb if we want our country to thrive. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're listening to what you have to say.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that they don't see the bigger picture, and these same people are complaining because there's no employment. There's lots of employment, but you're too stupid to hire. We're just getting our kids dumber and dumber. How is that at all effective? Look at how the country has dumbed down in the last 10 years.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, and it's trickling here over to Canada. Now I'm really pissed. So, yeah, this has got to stop. But, I would love to be the fly on the wall when the teacher is and first of all, what a position to put non-Christian children in. Because we're not talking about religion. We're not talking about the Bible. There is no the Bible. We're talking about Christianity.
Yeah.
So what a position to put non-Christian kids in, and what a position to put the teacher in. Because imagine
I think the teacher doesn't want to be in that position.
Imagine the kid who puts up his hand and says, well, that's not what I learned in my Bible. And the other kid puts up his hand and says, well, that's not my philosophy. All of you guys are different than what I believe in. And next thing you know, science classes become all about religious views, and the kids, again, are dumber than when they first walked into the classroom.
Yeah.
And they've lost the whole meaning of science.
Yeah. There's
philosophy is not science. Belief is not science.
Right.
The Bible does not mean Christianity. There's all kinds of Bibles.
Right.
All kinds of beliefs.
Yes. And
it's just another example of how Christianity intends to dominate.
Yeah. There's a thing I sent to Eric, actually. There was a teacher who sent a kid to detention because the kid disagreed with what he said, and the teacher admitted in the letter say, well, he was actually right, but I sent him to detention anyway. So it's like you discovered you're wrong, but you're going to punish this kid anyhow.
Well, that's typical in a classroom. If a kid contradicts the teacher, whether the kid's right or wrong, it's like that. I don't know, that thing where you're not supposed to like contradict the teacher.
Well, that's the whole point.
Well,
That's the whole point
the
of
purpose
learning.
of learning is to contradict a teacher to get more information out of them.
Right.
That's part of a fluid learning process, and I'm sure Eric would agree with us.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, having a 17-year-old son, he's encountered it countless times.
Oh yeah. Well, mine's homeschooled, so he doesn't have to encounter that. So.
Mom.
Well, it's been a hard road to hoe.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, you should challenge it. If the teacher is wrong about something, you need to challenge them. I mean,
Well, that's what I've taught my child, and he does.
Yeah.
And I stand behind him every single time. But the educational system is no disrespect to every teacher, but it has not been an easy go for Spencer, and Spencer's a quiet guy.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how the other kids feel like he's had a hard time because he doesn't follow the sheep. He's not a sheep. He's never been a sheep.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
I have never been much of a sheep myself. I get in a lot of trouble at work for that, basically. Everywhere I've worked, almost everywhere I've worked, they've made some kind of policy. Everywhere I've been, since I turned 25 or so,
I have too.
I make policy. Policy has always been they always come up with something because of me, and it's like I know that sounds a bit conceited, but it's actually true.
Well, I complained about a bunch of women who got together every day for about 10 minutes and discussed religion, at the doctor's office at the front desk. That was offensive to me.
Say the same thing over and over and over again. They just, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I complain, and I get written up for not being a team player. Well, no, I'm not on Team Jesus, and I don't think that's a productive way for them to spend their time. If they want to go after work and have a cup of coffee and talk about their Jesus, whatever.
Right.
Exactly. And I don't let that manipulation get to me either. My answer to that is I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with whatever you throw at me, because words mean nothing to me and your opinion means even less.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well,
we're all here because we're troublemakers, so.
Yeah. It would seem so.
And even Eric's a troublemaker, and Dan too.
Yeah, Eric is definitely a troublemaker because he can't even get back on.
He has something good
He'd
to say.
love to get on for this.
I think he kept saying that his system is clean. I think he's got that. I think he's got the virus.
I think Eric has a biased opinion because he has to. He's in the system, and he has to feel for. And I understand that because I'm in a different system, and I can appreciate that. You see the insides of it. When you're in the system, you appreciate the other side of it and where they're coming from and stuff like that, but it doesn't negate the things that we've discussed and that actually do go on. So.
Right. But I mean, I was, never mind, I forgot what I was trying to get at.
Poor Eric, I don't like bashing on him when he's not here.
No, I know, it's not.
No, I don't want to do that either.
No.
But when he's here, he's fair game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, then
absolutely.
it's on.
Absolutely. Definitely fair game
Rules the jungle.
That's right.
It's a jungle out here, Eric.
I'm trying to get him back in, but we're still waiting for him to get his Skype function again. He just seems to have. I was saying that Eric might have that virus that's been going around hitting Max. He said he does.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Tell me about that after.
What's that?
You'll have to tell me about that after.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You need to check your system, but
okay.
You should definitely. There was an update that Apple just pushed out, so that way you can
Oh,
Make
okay.
sure that your system is clean. It'll take care of that virus. It went from like 100,000 max to about half. Uh,
Hmm.
So just after that update. So, but anyway,
Just a text, though. I have to leave at 9:30.
okay. Well, we'll try to get through here as soon as we can here. Let's get into our next topic then.
Give me the news.
Our the let's see. Well, wait a second here. I thought I had everything. Oh, are we already in the? I think we're already in the news one. No, we're in politics, aren't we? I forgot where we're at.
We're on the news.
We're
I'm
on the news. I lost one of my tabs. So it confused me.
We were talking about the Bible in the classroom. Stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I have all the tabs for all the stories we're covering up as well, and I kind of like.
I've got the next two ones up. If you
Well,
want
one
to know.
of the stories we'll cover this one right now. That back last year, back in July of the 22nd of July of last year, there was a guy. He had killed 77 people over in Norway, and they were trying to say if he was insane or something for what he basically had done, but they had finally came out, and I'm sorry, the largest killing, loss of life since back in July of World War II. Sorry, a little bit of a technical glitch on my part there. But anyway, they found out he is quite sane, and it really bothers me that they couldn't figure this out sooner. That they had to, it took them almost a year of testing him to see if he was sane. I mean, he killed all these people because of his religious beliefs, and he's even quoted saying that he wished he could have killed more, which is even more disgusting. And it just people like this really bothered me, but it doesn't surprise me because this is the extreme that religious people will sometimes go to. Medusa, your thoughts?
Oh boy. Well, I think everybody who is under the delusion of some type of or spell of some type of religion is delusional and insane. But that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he did blame it on his religion does tell me that the man is delusional and he should be locked up for the rest of his life, and he will be locked up for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But I hate to have the
Well,
drag
he's
religion.
not blaming the religion. I'm saying that he did use his religion as an excuse to kill all these people.
I was just about to say that,
Yeah.
that he had to waste everybody's time and money, and I'm a big proponent against waste in the judicial system.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it becomes bogged down and slow. Now, it should not have taken a year. They say that the wheels of justice grind slowly, but that gives favor to the perpetrator, not to the victims. But everybody's, innocent until they're proven guilty. So, what do I know? But the man definitely, here again, we have a case where he definitely was the person who perpetrated the crime.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the justice system is broken. And in a case like that, and in another case that I don't think many people are familiar with, some might be, Dr. William Pettit, his family was victims of a home invasion robbery, and his wife and two daughters were raped and brutalized and burned to death, and just a horrid crime. And the two men were caught red-handed, as they say, but they pled not guilty. And they put the state of Connecticut through a huge, expensive trial. Here we have, again, all this money being wasted on, to let this man crop up with the delusion to try and justify what he did. I think the system is broken, and we shouldn't allow people to do that. That religion should not factor in. Again, it reminds you of the Tennessee story in a sense, insofar as we've got religion and the state all muddled up again, and when you get those two together, you just get mud. Nothing gets cleared up.
Right.
It just gets more confused. I want to let Vonnie get in here now.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Sure. Vonnie, your thoughts?
Yeah, every Christian doesn't go around committing mass murder.
They don't? Oh, well.
Not everyone. So we can't say, oh, just because you're Christian, you're going to do it. But
They may
if
think
they
about
read
it.
their little holy book, if they really take the acts in that holy book as just and right, and if they really think that something like genocide was an act of love, it certainly serves a purpose to someone who might do it. It certainly feeds the brain the information to say it was justified then, it's justified now.
Yeah.
Not everybody can make that distinction, and that is why I feel the biggest thing that is so harmful, well, I can't say the biggest thing, but one of the biggest things that is harmful about holy books and ancient rituals in general, ancient superstitions, ancient acts of God. People are still prescribing to doctrine and dogma that is 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
And
Or
outside
older,
of-
yeah, based on older
exactly.
mythologies.
Exactly. And outside of the realm of religion, this is not right.
Yeah.
And religion is the only thing in our today modern society that's still that people are still subscribing to and thinking it's okay. It's not
It's
okay.
poisoning their reasoning.
Right. Exactly. It poisons the reason, and the hazards are there, and it happens all the time. We know this.
Yeah.
So that's just my cautionary blurb on that. But in terms of it taking a year, first of all, we know how the system works. Nothing happens overnight, so that doesn't even surprise me. But on the same token, I'm glad that the process was lengthy and extensive, and the longer.
Well, they haven't even charged him yet. He hasn't even gone to court yet. This is just...
Let me finish.
Okay.
The longer it takes to do testing, the more testing, the more valid the result.
Okay.
So in this
Exactly.
case, I actually applaud the fact that he really did a good and thorough job at it, because the result was he was sane. And had they just did a real lickety-split kind of testing, how valid would that have been? So it's really good, actually, that they really did take some time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. They did at least it did validate that he was sane.
There's no
this
question.
way- Yeah.
I mean, obviously, right? But now they can bona fiably say, like, we, uneducated and unprofessional, can look at this and say, obviously, he's insane, right? But professionals have looked at him and said, actually, no, it was just calculated, and the man was brainwashed, but he wasn't insane.
I think you have to be a little highly organized to kill 77 people in a day.
Well, absolutely, but you can be insane and organized.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of priests are.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. That just popped out.
They're not.
My bad.
They're not. Oh.
Yeah.
They've said they're sorry, God, and they're off the hook.
Yeah.
5 Hail Marys and 3 rosaries, and you are good to go.
Oh, that is clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
Was-
If only it works. Only if it really worked that way.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
Yes,
I'd
it
have
would. But they this way they think it works, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
No.
But anyway, since I have no idea when we're gonna get Eric back, we'll just get moving on here. And since you have to get going, a man on the lam, he's outrunning the police, but he keeps popping up with Facebook. He keeps updating Facebook every once in a while. The cops are out looking for this guy, and it reminds me of that movie that the doctor's accused of a crime, but he's trying to prove his innocence. But this is obviously not the same situation. But he keeps popping up. This guy, he keeps popping up on Facebook. His name is Travis Nielsenson. What, he's got quite the mouthful for a last name. But he's going on Facebook saying to his buddies, saying, "Hey, can I crash at your place tonight? I need someplace to sleep because I'm like running from the police." Yeah, come on over or whatever. I don't know. Why don't they just use that thing that they were talking about before that we were talking about earlier?
Subpoena.
Yeah, they use a subpoena to get a hold of his Facebook account, and then they could be actively seeing out where he's doing it.
Check all his friends out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. It's just so funny that he's actually taunting the police this way. It's it's I wouldn't say he's a modern day Robin Hood because he's obviously a criminal.
He beat his girlfriend up.
What's that?
He's in there. He's on parole for beating his girlfriend up.
Oh well, yeah.
Bad, Travis.
Very, very bad. Don't be beating your girlfriend. That's not right.
But run, Travis, run.
Run. And tell everybody on Facebook where you're at every once in a while. You know, just like it's just so strange. Medusa, your thoughts?
But it's a strange world, isn't it? If it weren't for the fact that he beat his girlfriend up, I wouldn't be encouraging Travis to run. But I mean, this is exactly why they subpoena records from Facebook, because people are stupid enough to do it on Facebook. You don't see people doing stupid things like this on Twitter. They may talk smack about each other on Twitter
and get their account suspended.
Right, but you know, I mean, that's for some people that's a badge of honor, I would imagine. Some of the accounts I've seen, but in any case, you know, he puts his life on Facebook. Whatever happens to Travis happens. Life happens, Travis. You go, boy. That's what I have to say about it.
Yeah, it's just
run.
You keep running, buddy boy. You know, but personally, I hope they catch him. If he's out there doing this to his girlfriend, he should be behind bars and so somebody even bigger than him start slapping him around, which would happen, and they're going to find out what it's like to be on the end of the bitch pole, as it were. So
in that case, are we for subpoenaing records from Facebook?
It's still.
It would have to be for something like murder or assault or something violent against another human being.
There has to be. There has to be a guideline on that.
Break the law.
Yeah.
Break the law.
Yeah.
Don't break the law. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do the time. Don't do the crime.
That's right. You want to beat your wife? Well, have fun on the run, buddy.
There you go. And please keep posting. We're interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he gets caught and he's going to be somebody's bitch pretty soon, probably, and that's going to make me laugh.
Yeah.
Go, Vonnie.
Because I'm vindictive that way.
Yeah. Vonnie, your thoughts?
I just did.
Oh, well,
She just did.
Okay, well. We have to make it official, you know.
Make it official, girlfriend.
That's all I gotta say. I hope he trips.
Yeah, I hope he trips up and they
and
actually.
He will.
Close.
Oh
yeah, they will eventually.
Of course he will.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that Barefoot Bandit. He kept.
Oh, they mentioned him in there, Packard.
Do they? I did not mention. I did not see that.
At the end, they mentioned him and say that he was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. So that must have really pissed the justice system off.
Yeah. Is that all he got? Is that all he got?
And his wife, he'd probably get a day in jail. But now that he's messing with the police, well, that's far more serious than beating your wife.
Oh yeah. And you know what's funny is some people they are.
That's the sarcasm there,
Of course.
right?
You can get a new wife.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, there's people out there that are probably cheering him on. Yeah, run for the cops, because they they don't like the police. Yeah, absolutely. There's always gonna be those malcontents that do that kind of stuff. It just bothers me though. But what can I do about it right now? Not much, really. Let's get into our next topic here. Yeah. Now, it is not when people. I've had discussions with religious people, and then debate when sometimes they end the argument. Says, "Well, I'll pray for you," which really bugs me because it's like, yeah, go ahead, talk to yourself all you want. It's not going to change anything. So, but what's worse is when they get on their high horse and they say, well, this person needs to be taught a lesson or whatever. We're going to use a scripture quote to show that this person needs to be shown who's boss, as it were. Then but everybody just pray for this psalm to come true. That's what basically had happened in where was this? In Dallas. But the thing was, the priest who put this curse on this man used against a man called Mikey. His name is Mikey Weinstein. He was a former Navy chaplain. Said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I got that wrong." Mikey Weinstein is the one who is against. No, I'm sorry, I had it right the first time. I'm trying to read this again, and I'm forgetting what I'm doing here. That he's went against a former Navy chaplain who said he used a curse prayer, like those used in Psalms 109, to incite others to harm a Jewish agnostic and founder of the Military Religious Freedom Foundation and his family. Now, but the judge ruled that prayer, that praying for God to hurt somebody, is not illegal. It's kind of a dick move. It's kind of a I can't say it should be illegal because there's no God that's gonna smite them, but he's inciting others to do things. But he's saying that as long as no one is actually harmed or threatened, then it's okay. But these people were harmed, and I don't understand why they're letting them get away with it. Medusa, your thoughts?
Goodness gracious. I was actually reading the article that's coming up after that one. Praying for God to hurt someone is not illegal. Well, my husband is sitting here. This is what he has to say. It's pure stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
In a bottle,
Yep.
all capped up nicely for you.
Oh, that's the noise I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
We don't have enough problems here. We don't have enough problems in the Middle East with religion, that we've got to stir up more trouble with Christianity. This just does not make any sense.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't.
But
this made it
in
to
a way,
the courts again is a waste of money and
It is.
time.
Yes.
it is,
it's-
because it
it's
really,
like
to me, that's no different.
Litigating the Easter Bunny. I
Yeah.
mean, Sky Daddy.
Bring that little rabbit bastard to justice because he keeps cracking my eggs. Damn it.
Santa Claus didn't get my kid his bike on time. I'm
Yeah.
suing Santa Claus. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's
You know, I
basically
just
the
don't
same
think
as him saying, "I wish you dead." Well, that's not illegal either, and that's basically what he said, because prayer is just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
He didn't harm
Exactly.
him.
Yeah.
He might have hurt the guy's feelings. He might have
Vonnie, you're losing you.
him off. He didn't
It
hurt.
sounds-
He didn't hurt.
It sounds like stuff that you would hear on a playground.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Well, that's religion in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my God is my big daddy is bigger than your daddy.
My big daddy's gonna whoop your big daddy's butt.
Yeah,
What?
even though my big daddy's kind of invisible and he can't really do nothing, but I believe he's all powerful. Yeah, right.
But
whatever.
my
sure.
regular daddy's a judge, so I'm gonna take you to court.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That's what it boils
That-
down to too.
Yeah, that's about what it amounts
Yeah.
to.
Honestly, if someone said that to me, I would just. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little
Well-
bit, but we could just make you out.
Okay. If someone said that to me, I would just laugh. And when people say, "I'll pray for you," and in any manner, if they're doing it to be mean, I just always say, "And I'll think for you." Have a good day.
I like that. I like
always
that.
say that. Yeah, and no need to thank me. That's all right.
I know. I like that. I
just-
like that. I got to remember that.
We'll keep evolving. That's right.
Well, obviously they're not
Yeah,
thinking.
I'll think for you.
I like that because they're not thinking. So I'll think for you.
right.
That's a
Think
great
for you
comeback.
when you say,
With your little
Smile when
pinky
you
up
say
there.
"Ellen,
Did you have any other thoughts there, Vonnie?
have a nice day now."
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sort of. You're kind
Yeah,
of
you're clear as a bell.
you're kind of
Okay.
cutting in out a little bit, but you're coming in a little bit better now.
Okay. The other thing is, though, I do have people in my life who who love me, who happen to think prayer is some kind of
Magical
useful
thing.
tool. Yeah, and when they
I lost you, Vonnie.
say, I pray for you, or I'll keep
Oh, we lost
that,
her again.
I don't take offense to, because I know they're saying it in a loving way. Oh my God!
Right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, well, yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, I'm on one foot and my tongue is sticking out.
And
but-
stick one hand
okay,
on your head.
All they're saying is someone.
Stick one hand on your.
Someone offers.
Good.
Okay, you guys. Let me get it out before I disappear again.
Okay, try it, please, quick.
She's laughing.
I can hear her breathing.
I think that's laughter.
I don't know if she can hear us or not, but she's cutting in and out. And we've lost Vonnie.
Someone says in it. Someone.
Oh, no.
She's being sucked into the other dimension by the Christians.
Yeah, I think so.
Save her.
Oh, we just lost her completely. This is not a good night for Skype. I just lost her completely. I'm reconnecting now. But
Yikes. It's just you and me, Packard.
Yeah, that's it. It's just us. This has turned out to be a great night for this. Well, we're trying to get Vonnie back. Vonnie. But yeah, no, this is just kind of goofy. But let's get into our next story here. Reverend Lonnie Remmers was held in a torture of a boy who was forced to dig his own grave. He forced this young boy. It doesn't say how
He's at a group home.
A 13-year-old boy. Yeah, he's in a group home, 13 years old, and they beat him and they put pliers on this boy's nipples, and the two accomplices. What's really upsets me about this, the accomplices are going to get 19 years behind bars, but Rimmer, since he's a priest, he's only going to get
Reverend.
Yeah, he's a reverend priest, whatever. He's only going to get 7 years in prison. He needs to go to prison for as long as they do. Keep them away from everybody else. It's just ridiculous that the fact is
that he's a magic shaman and he gets less time.
Yes, exactly.
It makes
your thoughts.
me mad.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes me so flippin' mad about it. Is he's a magic shaman and he's got his little things that he shakes, little incantations, and that gets time shaved off. And again, we're introducing religion into the state, and when we inject it into the justice system, I really get fried. I mean, he should do the entire 19 years like the other guy. This guy is a reverend. I mean, he was accused. I'm going down here to the bottom of the article here. Where am I? Here I am. Let's see. He's one of these pay $500 and you become a reverend type of preacher.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, nice. Isn't that nice? So
yeah.
He's co-defendant with somebody who he squandered money from some scam.
Yeah.
So he's a criminal.
Yeah.
You know, he's absolutely a criminal from the get-go. And so this is, another strike against him. And it should be a very important strike. I mean, I had a hard time reading that article. And the boy's mother, who's not yet been named, hasn't been arrested. And she said, I want to know from her if she knew what was happening to her son. That's critical to know.
Yeah.
Because what happened to him, I'm surprised he just didn't kill him and tell her he walked off into the desert and that was the end of it,
I wonder if that had happened, they probably would have. Oh, and they said that they threw him in a shallow grave, and every time he kept trying to climb back out, they would kick him back into the grave and would throw dirt on him.
And this is part of a religious ceremony, and this is good for the soul.
I would like to know how.
I'd say that boy entered the first realm of hell in Dante's Inferno.
Oh, yeah, at least. Not that I
At
believe in hell
least.
anyway, but it's
You know, the justice system should be ashamed of itself. What
absolutely.
state did this happen in? I forget what
This is
state
in
it is. Oh,
California.
California. Oh, my state. Just great. We're soft on religious nuts here. My bad. I apologize. Occasion- Occasionally we make an error here in California. Yeah. But no, he's just a storefront reverend. Just $500, start a church. You know, he's
Yeah,
just a regular criminal. And so are the other two.
yeah.
It's just disgusting. You know.
It's
But again, most of the topics we've talked about this evening have been pretty deep and pretty disgusting. You know.
yeah. Well, there's and a lot of it had a lot of them had some religious aspect to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but it's just irritating. Unfortunately, we had lost Vonnie. She had to go anyway. Um, I was going to explain this at the end of the show. Hopefully, would have gotten into this before, but we kind of ran long. This tonight was going to be Vonnie's last show with us. Her life is getting really busy right now, and so she will not be with us again for a while. She will be coming back to the show at some point when she has some free time. No idea when that's going to be. So if you keep listening, you might get to hear her at some point in the future. But for right now, I don't know when. So, but you know, if you like to listen to Vonnie, keep listening. She might be back at some point.
Yeah.
She'll come in and sneak in and say, "Hey, everybody," you know.
We love her perspicacious personality.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, but this has been one of those nights. We've had some errors on this show, and problems with the show, trying to get everything going. But tonight is just it really has been a Friday the 13th.
Yes, it has. It has. We called down the curse on top of our heads.
Yes,
Okay.
that's all right.
Okay, so one curse is right.
Right. You know, the funny thing is, it's not me this time. It's everybody else.
We're still hanging in there so far.
Yes, so
Knock
far.
on wood. I keep knocking on wood, Packard. That's my secret.
Well, if I want to knock on wood, I just do this. I just knock on my own head. I got a little bit of wood in there. I just got to make sure I keep the termites out.
Yeah. Check that
out. Let's get into our funny tweet. Our funny tweet comes from Enoroid. Dan did a shout out for him a while back. I just can't remember exactly how to pronounce his name, but it's ANNRAOIOD, and he retweets Coburn Hawk. That's COBURNHAWK. Says Santorum's got a secret service detail. Let me start again. Santorum got a secret service detail last month. This month he pulled out. Maybe he was uncomfortable using protection.
Ew. God. That's just nasty. I mean, or I'm nasty. Or both. God. Just like I'm oh, Jesus. That's like saying I'm Catholic. I've got to pull out early.
Yeah. Pull out doesn't sound manly to me, Bill. Let's leave it in there and get the job done. George Carlin.
I could make all sorts of. People think I'm nasty. Then I'm not. I'm not like that. You know, clean those pipes up good.
Yeah.
Make sure they're shiny.
There you go.
My God.
Well, let's get into our shout out for this evening.
Okay.
Hey, you guys!
Our shout out this evening was supposed to be from Eric, but since he is not here, it is for SWBEYONDFILMS. Beyond SW, it'll be SW Beyond Films. I really don't know anything about them, but Eric's giving a shout out for you tonight. And unfortunately, like I said, he's not here, but so he's the one that he's following you, so he knows more about you. I didn't get a chance to look it up myself, so I really don't know too much about them. But if you're, they probably, it sounds like they're making films of some sort. I just don't know what kind, unfortunately. So if you want to give them a follow and check them out, it's SWBEYONDFILMS, and tell them you heard him here on the show. Let's get into our question of the week.
Excuse me. I have a question. I have a question. I have a question, sir. What are you doing? I'm asking you a question.
Our question of the week this week, let's start with last week. Our question from last week was, your favorite fictional character becomes real. Now what happens? We had one reply, and that was from, let's see here if I can find it. It was from Wizard of Todd. He said, 3 words: kill, destroy, frag.
I know, Todd. That's what he said.
That's exactly what he said. 3 words: kill, destroy, frag. He must be. I figure it's either Halo or it's or some other game. Maybe it's a shoot 'em up game of some sort.
I can find out. Kill, destroy, frag.
Yeah, FRAG, frag. So.
I'm consulting my 17-year-old son who games compulsively.
Ah, very good. Well, you can while you're asking him, let's get into our question for this week. Is, since it's Friday the 13th, is Friday the 13th bad luck or all in your head? Friday the 13th, Medusa, is it all bad luck? Is it bad luck or is it all in your head?
Are you asking me formally?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yeah, Jen. Formally, you want a letter? Well, before the show tonight, I was gonna say probably no, but we've had a little bit of bad luck, but nothing that's hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But I must say that when I worked in clinics and hospitals, and I used to have to go through the ER records, that full moons and Friday the 13th, and if the thought is in your mind that something is going to happen to you, probably you're going to subconsciously screw up and something is going to happen to you on Friday the 13th. If you're inclined to be superstitious.
Yeah.
Whatever your flavor of superstition might be. Black cats might be your thing,
Yeah.
I'm not particularly superstitious, so I wouldn't be able to pick a favorite one.
Right. Well, you know if what happens if a black cat crosses your path on Friday the 13th, you know what that means?
She's likely to go poop in front of my front door.
No, that means that just means that cat is going somewhere.
Okay, probably to poop by my front door. Really was going to upset me. So I'm having a little problem with that right now. So, yeah, but if it's in your mind, if that's the way you think, that something's going to happen to you. But again, it's like programming yourself for religion. If that's the dogma that you believe, then that's what's going to happen to you. That's how I feel about it anyway.
Yeah,
it's mind over matter.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just I used to, when I was younger, I would subscribe to the whole Friday the 13th thing. I would just just be real careful. I was not that when you're a teenager, when you're a teenager that you take a wrong step, you could screw up everything in a heartbeat anyway, just because you're a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. You're a teenager, so you're the perpetrator of everything in your parents' eyes.
Right.
So you're going to get pinched for something.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And you can blame it on.
And as Vonnie said, it's going to be Saturday the 14th tomorrow. What is going to happen to us tomorrow, Packard? I'm terrified.
Go watch the movie Saturday the 14th, and then you'll see what happens on Saturday the 14th.
Look it up on Netflix. I've got to see it now. I'm such a I can't say that word on. I'm such a naughty girl for films. I love to watch movies.
Well, it wasn't the best film ever made, but it was kind of a flop at the box office. But it
doesn't matter. It's like if you like it, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, and I can play it.
There you go.
Oh, yay!
well,
I was gifted. I received a gift today. Thank you, Packard.
Well, you're very welcome. You are very welcome on that point.
When
Well,
I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, I'll be watching that.
there you go. There you go. Well, since we're getting close to the end of the show here, if you would like to, I tried to bring this up towards the end of the show. If you like the show and would like to see more of the show, please feel free to let me click the button. That's what the problem is here. Oh, there we go. If you would like to, if you like the show, I gotta figure out where my fingers gotta be here. Oops, here. There we go. If you like the show, please hit the donation button over at packardpokes@wordpress.com and hit the donate button and put a few dollar bills, a number on there, and send me a little bit of money so I can at least keep the internet on and I can keep trying to bring you a good show. Tonight is Friday the 13th. Everything's falling apart. We're just holding on.
It's not our fault.
It's not my fault. The chat room has messed up and the no one can get in and people are losing their audio and I have no idea why. It just
It's true. It's a curse.
Well.
It's official. It's bona fide.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be. It definitely seems to be some kind of a thing that's going on today.
We're going to start the Holy Church of Friday the 13th.
There you go.
That's
Friday
right.
the 13th, the Church of the Friday the 13th, and
since I have a vagina and I can't be a priest, it's on you.
They have female priests in some churches. They have female priests, but this is actually the second Friday the 13th. We have one more coming up later this year at some point. I forget what month it is.
We'll have to compare.
Yeah, we're having 3 this year. So I'm wondering. Well, we'll be able to compare because we'll have a show on the next Friday the 13th. So we'll just have to keep notes.
Oh my God, we won't forget this show.
No. Friday the 13th strikes back.
Absolutely. You had to ask that question.
Yeah.
You saw saying Candyman 5 times, and don't you dare say that. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
No,
but,
I've never seen the movie.
If you say it 5 times, he's supposed to appear behind you, and his bloody hook rips your gullet up.
Really?
So,
yeah. I'll have to. Well, that would be really good for October.
That's on Netflix. Watch that. That's my suggestion.
Candyman. I'm not into the whole.
Don't say it 4 more times, or I'll hang up.
I'm not into the whole horror movies, so it for me it doesn't trip my trigger.
That one scared me.
Oh, if you want to see the movie wasn't too scary. It was kind of scary, but I had to actually laugh the absurdity of certain things of the show, just so when I went to bed I wouldn't have a nightmare. But I was like 12 at the time. It's called the movie House. The guy.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
I've seen that movie before.
You know who plays the monster in that? That's the guy that if you ever watched Night Court, that's Bull. That's the guy who plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I recognized him. That's Bull. So, I forget his real name, but I just know him as Bull. He's a real.
I remember that show because I like to watch shows about court since I used to work in court. So
yeah, there's a lot of clips on YouTube. We were watching some just the other night, as a matter of fact. So it was we had a fun show or a fun night watching that shit. Yeah.
Love to plumb the depths of YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Well, we're gonna have to come up with a name for the show.
Yeah. Well, we'll get after that after we sign off. But if you would like to reach us on if you want to reach us, we are on Twitter. You can reach Medusa on Twitter as
Medusa Rants, MEDUSA_RANTZ.
Right. And if you want to reach Vonnie, even though she is not going to be technically on the show anymore, you can still reach her at Evolution Child. That's EVLOUT. Well, hang on a second. If I can actually read it off the screen, it'd be nice. But my producer is falling asleep at the switch here. So let me see here. There we go. It's right there. Evolution Child. It's EVOLUTON. underscore CHILD. And you can also reach Eric as I have no thoughts, all one word. We'll try to get him back on next week. Hopefully he'll
Poor
figure.
Eric.
Poor Eric. We knew him well.
The voice of discontent.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. We needed him.
And if you want to reach me on Twitter, I'm Packard underscore Sonic. That's PACKARD underscore SONIC. You can reach the show at Packard Pokes, all one word, no spaces. You can find the show notes at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. All stories we talked about here tonight, a good portion of them anyway, that we mainly covered, will be there at the site as well. Well, we do want to appreciate everybody for coming, and hope you enjoyed the video aspect of the show. We've been working very hard to get this out to you. We'll try to figure some other way. But if you want to find it on iTunes, it's at itunes.com/PackardPokesat, and you'll be able to see the whole show there at some point, or hopefully by Sunday as well. So we appreciate everybody coming and trying to get into the chat room tonight, because the chat rooms are being bombarded or something, and everybody's been having a difficult time getting in, as well as I have too. So I do apologize. That is beyond my control. Not much I can do about that, but I do appreciate everybody that was able to make it into the chat room and was able to join us there. Well, that's it for us tonight. This has been Packard Pokesat. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.
That was a great save, Packard. You did a great show.
Here.